Welcome to another mini XANGO webinar. My name is Dave Webb, and it is my pleasure to be joined today by Mr. Scott Nelson, who is in charge of web development and some of the great tools we get to use at XANGO. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
Now, today we're talking about the XANGO Check It app. So we're going to ask people to check it because we've got some really good news. This is an app that is available for both Android and for iPhone. So they're showing up on your screens now. The Android app, you can see in the upper left-hand corner, available in the Google Play market or Android market. And the Check It for iPhone or for iOS is available in the App Store from iTunes. So we're going to jump right in and take a look at what happens when you click that very icon right there on one of those screens. And it'll still keep showing up left-hand side for Android, right-hand side for Apple. Now, the disclaimer is a big deal. Remember, the disclaimer is so that we're not promising anything that is not legitimate and not real. This is a disclaimer that says we're not making a claim about how much money people are going to make. These are projections based on math. If I spend $100 at a $100 store, I better get $100 worth of goods. That's just math. So here we're talking about if I have this many people and they were to purchase this much of PV, the income that I could earn would be this much. Now, Scott, give us a little background on where this all came from.
Well, the idea came from Gordon Morton, our founder, and he started talking to me about this a couple months ago, and he was very excited about it, and I wish he could be here on the call with us to explain a little bit more, because really it was his idea. And the idea is that if you're in a coffee shop or you're on a train or a bus or at someone's home, quickly you could show them what their income potential could be with XANGO. Really simply, and as we go through this, you'll see how that works.
So it's a and I don't mean to minimize it because it takes a lot of effort to get it to look this cool and to do this good of stuff, but it's a glorified calculator because we're plugging in some suppositions, this many people, this much PV, this much result. So after we click accept, which means you are not making any false claims, I want to really emphasize that. You click accept on the legal disclaimer and we jump right into the app. We are welcomed right in. We call this the Check It application. XANGO invites you to see your income potential. It doesn't take long. This is not a 1,000-screen visit or watching small videos or anything like that. This is really quickly what would happen, and I'll pretend to click the continue button right now. It'll look for how many contacts you have in your phone already. I mean, obviously, everybody has a smartphone. This is something that we want to give people an opportunity to show what XANGO can do for them on a pretty quick basis. So your phone will check in automatically with the app, and it says, it looks like you have, on the Android side, it looks like 148 contacts. Now, the Android user is a little more popular than the iPhone user because that person only shows 139 contacts, but that's okay. So what happens if you have other contacts available? This says, if you'd like to check your Facebook account, and you can see that kind of pop out on your screen right now. If you click that Facebook login, it will then calculate those friends and contacts and give you that total number there. So it just gives you an idea so you don't have to think on the spot. Let's see, I know the Johnsons, and I know the Martinezes, and I know the Nelsons. No, this is just saying here's how many people you have. You can plug in some of these numbers, and it gives it at least a basis in reality. So it starts with the two options at the bottom, customer potential and distributor potential. We'll start on the left-hand side with customer first. So clicking that gives you this brand new screen. It shows 0 because if you look on those sliding bars right there in the kind of the top middle of those screens, the sliding bar is set to 0 customers in your organization. So 0 customers logically equates to $0 return. The average order size, we've preset it at 150. You might want to reset that for yourself to show 250 or 300 depending on what your own personal shopping habits are with XANGO. But then we're going to use the calculator built within the application to show sliding that button a little bit to the right in the positive direction will show what happens when people add some numbers in there. So for example, the Android user obviously is still working with that friends group or the list. You can just say, if I were to sponsor 36 customers in my XANGO organization. Now remembering, XANGO pays 20% on customer orders because these people aren't really locked into turning this into a business for themselves, but we do want to reward people who are finding customers to purchase our products. So if you had 36 customers purchasing an average order size of 150 points, that would equate to $1,080 in XANGO potential income. Not a guarantee, not a promise, not a statement of earnings. This is what's possible if everything lines up and you had 36 customers ordering 150 points in a month. 20% of that 36 customers ordering 150 points equals $1,080. On the right-hand side with the iPhone, we show the similar thing. If we had 50 customers ordering, now these are all frontline, you're getting the 20% on all 50 customers at 150 points per, your potential XANGO income could be $1,500 per month. Now, we're showing, again, at the bottom of that screen, another thing you can click, and that's the distributor potential. So we've looked at customer, which has the payout at 20%, and you try to keep those closer to your personal organization and your downline level. And as we clicked on the distributor potential button, this is what shows up. We clear the screen again, showing $0 because we're showing 0 distributors, but then we slide that icon a little bit to the right, and we say, okay, what if we have 29 distributors coming in? XANGO calculates the percentages that you would earn based on logical fallout of levels. If you have everybody on your first level, you're only going to get 5%. That is not represented here. If you were only able to sign up everybody on your third level, obviously that would be 10%. We're not representing that here either. We're being a little bit more vague and general with it just to show a potential. So on the left-hand side, 29 distributors would equal $345 per month. On the right-hand side, we just happen to change that number to 54. It doesn't mean iPhone people are going to sponsor any better than Android people. Am I right, Scott?
Exactly.
Okay, we're not trying to make any claims here. But again, if you were to click on the distributor potential, slide those buttons a little bit to the right or to the left, you will show a real-time calculation in those black boxes. Now, we've got it obviously on a static page, so it's frozen in. But if I were to slide that average order size to 300, but leave the distributors at 29 or at 50 in those upper bars, it would show the equivalent representation of income possible in the bars below and above. Now that's just back and forth. You're just going from customer to distributor. How many customers would you like to look at? Let's take another look at distributors. It's just those two screens and then the sliding scales for each one. Anything else, Scott? Any quick snapshots of info we need to know?
No, it's pretty easy to use, as Dave mentioned. You just use the slider, and we also have some other features that we're going to be adding to it in the future that will be exciting, so watch for that. We're not going to tip that off yet, but watch for it in the future, potentially in January. We're going to have some more features. This is kind of the first set of features that you can use and start sharing with your friends and potential prospects that you would like to bring into the business.
Scott, you know you're being recorded, so when you say potentially January, you're locked in. It better be January now, buddy. You were stuck. Now, we also want your feedback. We are in partnership with our distributors, and it's not just limited to the comp plan. It's also involved in something so that we can get your feedback to make this better. If you have some suggestions, even based on what you saw in this webinar, if there's something we can do to teach it better or to share the information better, send us an email to mobiledev, MOBILEDEV @XANGO.com. That will wake up Scott at 3:30 in the morning if you need to. He is 24/7 access. I know him to be that good. I'm teasing, of course. He is that good, but he won't necessarily answer at 3:30 a.m. But give us your feedback. Give us your input. What would make this app more effective? What are we not using well? What can we use better? And even how can we train on it better? That'd be great. We'd love to hear it. Thanks for all your attention and your time, everybody. Thanks, Scott.